it looks like it's going to be no contest for these runes. It doesn't seem like either team, well, I say that, Micke, just going to walk in. We'll see what happens here. The Gush is out onto Zibe. Blood Grenade out as well as the Curse onto 3, but the damage is stacking up, and Zibe's going to go down. Micke claiming first blood on the Tiny. That's the start you're looking for on a safe lane Tiny, especially in this guy's hands. One of the best Tiny players in the world right now.
You usually feel safe as a Beastmaster. You're pretty tanky. You got the Border slow, but actually Liquid has so many slows. All the heroes brought a slow. You just could not get away. So Tiny off to a good start.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see how that affects his lane. Typically the first blood means a lot of extra regen. He's in a pretty okay matchup having a strong support like the Phoenix, right? One of these lane dominators, something Fly was mentioning, just a hero that doesn't get a lot of attention, but against these tanky cores, it does a lot of work.
Yeah, and Micke on the Tiny, the panel mentioned, he did lose his last game in the group, but before that, it was like a 10-win streak on Tiny. Liquid is very comfortable playing around this hero. The Phoenix as well. Not one we've seen them pull out very recently, I think, but there were so many support bans in the draft, and then you grab the Phoenix and Ringmaster. All the strong supports, maybe also having the same read. If Avalis does not have a good start, we have this in the late game as the more experienced team. Yeah,
that's definitely a possibility. Mid lane looking pretty good here for both sides. Bryle doesn't really have any denies yet, but here against the Dragon Knight, that's kind of expected. Synergize actually burned down in the bottom lane. Gush Impalement Arts, a great combo here. As they'll put that into the hands of Boxy's Ringmaster. What do you think? What facet did he go?
The Ringmaster has the Carney Classics. He got a whoopee cushion.
Nice.
That should be fine for this lane. Actually, the Lifestealer will not like chasing into the whoopee cushion.
I love it. It's such a great kind of series of items he can pull out of his hat. I think the Tidehunter, though, like they were saying, you can mostly leave him alone. I don't feel like they're going to be able to put a lot of pressure on him. The Lifestealer, yeah, it does some things. Hold on, a potential repeat here. The Tame the Beast, a lot of damage, though, out from Boxy. He's just protecting that pole camp for now.
You want it to spawn. Like you said, you want to leave the Tidehunter alone, let him be really farmed, but that means you'd like the lane to be in a safe spot, so... it was blocked one more time, maybe around the 3 minutes they can get it. For now, they're doing fine, though. Lifestealer's not as scary as it used to be. It used to be very scary to lane against level 1. Now, it takes a couple levels, and then you can bully people out, but Tidehunter, not so much. We should see some casual farming down there. A peaceful lane while everyone goes mid, I imagine, around that 6-minute mark.
The farming pact is like, we like to call it,
no one fight down here. After our first blood, no one fight down here.
Let us kill you first, then, all right, yeah, no more fighting, no more fighting. 3-minute Lotuses about to spawn. Always try to see these teams fight over them. Against the Phoenix, it's not going to be easy. Just so much damage coming out from this hero. It looks like Insania should be able to secure that fairly well. As for this safe lane, oh, hold on, potentially another kill in the bottom lane. Absolutely is. One more for Boxy. Saberlight is going to shrug off these auto attacks from the Lifestealer.
Farming pack just completely ignored down here. He actually did take Kraken Swell on this Tidehunter. We've been seeing a lot of Krill Eater, but he did just get his first Kraken Shell stack there. And actually looking at the core lineup and then even a Wind Ranger support, it may build up a lot of stacks. Yeah, you're going to be extremely tanky, and you want the Tide to be in the front. The panel mentioned, he's like the combo breaker. If he's in front and you have to initiate on him, you got to throw everything, and he is so tanky, he's probably still going to get the Ravage out. And I think as long as you keep your team alive, you'll have the saves. Like strong that one right there. You got all these answers. Strong
Very nice Strongman Tonic, yeah. Boxy getting a lot of damage back onto Synergize as well. Cursed, however, will break the salve of Saberlight, so that is a little painful. We'll be sitting fairly low in the lane right now. A lot of trading. I feel like bottom lane is the only action. Everyone else just kind of chilling this mid lane.
Everyone else is respecting the farming pack.
That's fair. Yeah, Bryle mid lane on the Ember versus the Dragon Knight. I mean, it's a matchup we've seen a lot, typically favoring the Dragon Knight. And now the big question is, did you expect it to favor the Dragon Knight this much? 28-9 to the 13-1. That's pretty painful.
This looks like old matchups of Dragon Knight versus Ember. Ever since Ember got buffed, we've seen him win so many matchups that he didn't traditionally used to. So this is a bit of a surprise. This feels, I don't know, rough rough first game on the main event, maybe. Fortunately, Ember doesn't always have to have an amazing lane. I mean, we see him get Huskard, Monkey King. As long as he can rotate later, it'll be okay, but this is a bit of a slow start for him.
Absolutely, and we'll see. The thing that's interesting, like Mobe's opted for the Fire Dragon as well, right? So he's going to be farming. Like he's not having to rely on the minus armor wells. Bottom lane, another attempt here from Saberlight and Boxy. The third death for Seneko. As Smiling Knight, he just has to watch. He can't do anything here.
And that's the downside of Lifestealer, right? In the early game, you're really not that scary, especially to someone like Tidehunter, who's just so bulky. You usually win. Ooh, miss.
Ooh,
I don't think he'll die.
Oh, wait, a power potential shot? Nice rotation in with the power shot. The breathe fire comes out as well. Mobe claims his first victim. And he's going to get a lot of damage into the tower. Okay, I'm blind. He is Corrosive Dragon. I thought for sure I saw the other.
He was still red at that time. Now he's green. Now
I see.
Now you can easily tell. Yeah, he even has the catapult here. You have to bring some heroes over to protect this. Otherwise, there's a lot of tower damage coming in.
Yeah, 6-minute rune. Boxy will take it away here, but it's going to cost him his life. Quick little power shot from Desire. The execute from downtown.
Are having a good start here in the lane. He actually picked up a lot more last hits than we usually see from a support. Now the power shot in mid and another assist there, or I guess the kill. He's having a good time.
Yeah, but we'll see. They need to slow down the Dragonite in the mid lane, and they're actually going to start bringing in some heroes. The Phoenix, as well as the Ringmaster here. There's going to be the chains into the Impalement Arch, the Sunray as well. Mobe starting to burn. Tanky hero. We'll see if he can actually survive this dive. Is it going to be enough? It is. It goes to Boxy. Bryle, though, on the run back, still not level 6. Cursed up, taking a lot of damage. Nice whoopee cushion to the low ground, but he escaped. Desire looking for that power shot opening. It's going to be sidestepped. Well done from this Ringmaster.
Liquid very familiar with how to enable your stand-in. They see he's having a rough time.
They're not done.
They bring everyone in.
Yeah, they're continuing to punish Bryle. He's level 6 though, so this is where we can see him Remnant, TP to Fountain, start playing a little bit more of like a regen and farm.
That bottom lane, still, this is what we expected. Just a peaceful, now it's the farming.
Now we're in
Now the
farming
Tide and the Lifestealer will just spend their time farming. I imagine the Tidehunter. Okay, he's actually opting for a Vlad's first. It is actually pretty good for his team. I was wondering if we'd see just all the auras, right, to be in the front, but the Vlad's will be the start of that. See if he wants to go for any of the more protective auras. Like, I guess you don't actually need to pipe this game too much.
I really like what Mobe is doing. He is putting so much pressure into this mid tower, knowing he's ahead in the lane. The Corrosive Dragon takes advantage of this so heavily, and yeah, he's going to be able to grab this tower just about the 8-minute mark as the runes are going to spawn. Desire will take an Invis rune, denying another one to these mid lane heroes. I mean, this is, it's so funny because this is how Dota has evolved. There are 6 heroes in the mid lane here, and it just seems to be the case for most of these lane stages. Is Bryle's going to deny the tower, not give this gold over to the side of Avalis.
When the more bottle refills, the power runes have become so much more important, especially for someone like an Ember Spirit who can do a lot. And he had a rough time, so I think both teams identified if we can get the power runes, it can be the way he recovers. So far, having a bit of a rough time getting those power runes, so he is still struggling the bottom of the net worth for
Mobe's going to snipe this. He knows. They have a ward here, scouting this out. Boxy, he has to be aware. Impalement Arch comes out. They get their own ward tonight and take the other. Bryle really needs these creeps. Looks like he will get the majority of them, so nice contest from Avalis.
You keep your stacks alive. You have to split the XP and you lose the ward. A little unfortunate, but mostly taken. Yeah, if you can steal these, that would be pretty good.
Yeah, Zibe about to do the Beastmaster Classic, right? Just farm these ancient stacks over and over, get towards his aghanim scepter. Mobe actually coming in to assist, I believe, right, is the correct word. He's not here to take these. He's here to, yeah, he's assisting in the last.
There's going to be a breathe fire at the very end.
Saberlight bottom lane, just going to walk down this silencer. Smiling Knight going to offer a little bit of an assist thanks to that flow. But honestly, how do you get away from this Tide? He's not even,
you do.
Yeah, he's just going to beat it down. He doesn't really have a ton of mana, but does have a soul ring if needed. Could pop the Ravage, but Desire coming in with a focus fire. Tidehunter seemingly unbothered at the moment. Will Saberlight actually get some help? It doesn't look like it. Just continuing to try and bide his time here, get close to that tier 2. No scan from the Radiant. Can Avalanche bring down this? Boy, they can. Desire with the power shot to finish the job. 10 minutes. Runes in the mid lane. The action never stopping, it seems. Ryle will finally get his first power rune.
I think that kill attempt on Tide, I mean, it was a successful kill attempt, shows exactly why Beastmaster is going to go Ags this time. We've seen Helm of the Overlord become a little bit more popular ever since they made some changes to it. But you need some magic damage in here. You need to be able to kill Tidehunter with something that is not right-click damage.
And we'll see what the build is going to be for some of these heroes and Avalanche, but we're currently smoked up here on the side of Liquid. They got a sneak peek of Seneko, and they will go for the dive here once again. Micke closing the gap. They'll give the kill to Bryle, knowing he needs a little bit more recovery. Micke, he's having a great game. Top of the net worth here at the 10-minute mark. Just doing what he does best.
See this happen to a lot of silencers. You either have a great time in the lane and you're just bopping people, or you are being bopped because you have no escapes. You have you're a slow hero. If they get to you, you're pretty much just dead.
All right, so I got a question for you. If you could rate where Seneko is on the bopping scale right now, what would it be?
He's at a 2.
I see, a 2.
Yeah, which is an issue. Like, it's a 1. It's a 1 bopping scale.
1 brain drain. He's ready to go.
That's actually an issue if we do go later on, because a very common build for Silencer right now is Arcanes, sometimes a smaller item, and then the refreshers that you get the double silence when they pop their dispels. You have the second one. I don't know if you guys know this. He may be an intelligence hero, but his spells are insanely costly in mana. So if you don't get some brain drain stacks, you actually have a huge issue using any abilities in late game fights, which if all you can use is your ult, refresher ult, sure, that's good, but you want to use the other spells. You want to use whatever Force-Staff Glimmer you've built.
This is a nice bait here from Bryle with the illusion. Looks like they're not going to fall for it. Okay, they figured it out. It's funny because you're right. Like the best thing at that point, use global, run into the fight, die, then buy back.
That's how you have enough mana.
Then you have enough mana. I think that's the key play, yeah. A lot of silencers known from buyback and globaling in the fountain. We'll see what they do. A little bit of a pause here in the action as we see, what... Okay, never mind. We're just right back into it. They don't care. Smiling Knight versus Saberlight bottom. Still just absolutely nothing happening here. These guys just continue to hit creeps.
Yeah, Saberlight, I thought he would get the Mage Slayer, but I forgot. Ember Spirit is actually one of the few heroes who is better at applying Mage Slayer than Tidehunter. You don't really need to. It's not that broken in the current meta. And I think that'll be really helpful. They've already made Tidehunter extremely tanky to physical damage. Now he's going to get help from the Mage Slayer, and that makes him confident to just be in the front like this, literally tanking the tower, aiding in Avalanche.
This is when you really can't pressure the Tidehunter. The Vlad's is done. They can bring the extra heroes. Maybe with Dragon Knight they can. Desire and Move smoked up on the other side. There is a ward here from Liquid, so if this smoke gets popped, they'll see it coming. They're actually going for a really deep wraparound. They think that illusion is actually him in the mid lane. Oh, that hurts. As it just expires. So, yep, Dragon form. They do not find him.
Both teams care about this tower a lot right now. If Liquid can take it, then you set yourself up to get the 14-minute Wisdom Rune into the Tormentor in the bottom at 15. That's part of the reason Avalanche was coming down here with that smoke. Getting sidetracked by that illusion means Saberlight is going to continue just soloing down this tower. Hey, it's going to die here.
Yeah, you can't do anything to this guy. This is Giga Chat Saberlight. You can't stop him.
Did buy time for Zibe to finish all his stacks. He has an Ags, and this is a pretty good timing.
Yeah, 13 minutes. That is very fast. 2 minutes and 13 seconds faster than the average this patch. That is incredibly stunning. So now typically when we talk about as we hit the 15-minute mark, it comes down to which team can really pressure the Tormentor the easiest. You have Ravage on one side, you have Roar and Global on the other, you have an Egg. It's going to be interesting to see who gets the initiation, but that's going to be an objective both teams absolutely will be keeping their eyes on.
It should be a little easier for Liquid, because although you have the Global and they have no Dispels, it's so early in the game. I don't know if you have the damage to actually kill like the Phoenix and all of them in that time, unless you really focus it down with the recently finished Aghanim's Roar. So we'll have to see how it actually breaks out, but I think as long as you're set up and you stick Tidehunter on the front, should should be able to force the issue and take it for yourself.
Overall, the Avalis core is all pretty darn farmed. They're going to be heading to the top side here.
Micke also pretty darn farmed.
Yeah,
he's been left alone up here.
Quietly working towards his items. Is that a Shadow Blade coming out now?
He's got the Echo Saber, some of the components of the Shadow Blade. I don't know if he'll want to finish it right away or if he wants to wait for the shard that is about to be available, because that speeds up your farming a lot. But maybe you could make a play if you do choose to finish the Shadow Blade first.
A potential defense here coming out from Liquid. They are TPing in the boys, and safelane, well, he's got the Ravage to dive in from the Phoenix into the egg. There's the global, but the body block's just trying to keep Mobe in range. What a shackle, slowing them down, but there's the chase. They got their carry. They've done it. The Ravage will secure the first. Is now Zibe on the run. The cut off from Boxy, feared right back into the hands of Liquid. He's not getting out of this one. 2 dead for Avalis.
Thought they would turn around to go for the Tormentor, but it looks like they're checking for stacks first, and they're going to find, there's nothing really here. I think at this point, you do go back down there. Get that Tormentor.
It's a smart defense, right? You don't really feel super pressured now that the big spells are out. You could go for Tormentor, but you save the tower. Now you can kind of get back out on the map, get some vision, farm some other waves. Yeah, smart play. Patient play, I think, at the moment.
I mean, now that you have these twin gates, it doesn't really matter where you find the fight in either side lane. As long as you win the fight, you will be able to make it over to the Tormentor. But it looks like they're taking some time on it. They might be close to finishing an item that will give them more confidence to do the Tormentor, but if they're not quick about it...
It's a big smoke. Blink Dagger is available here for the Dragon Knight. Bryle's going to walk right into Snako, but he gets the Remnant out. Quick response there from the Ember. Now Boxy trying to get away here from Mobe. What a dodge! Again, off the mirror. We've seen this a few different times, but beautifully done for Boxy. Now trying to continue the pressure onto Mobe. The fear is out, and back comes the Ember Spirit. Chains are out. In comes the Phoenix dive, and Mobe will burn. Roar on the backside, grabs the Phoenix. Smiling Knight trying to get into this fight, but he's fallen low. Needs to infest and run. Will Zibe actually get him the distance, the toss to the high ground, but it's not enough. Escaping for the moment.
We're starting to see some signs. If you don't have the cleanest initiation on Avalis, these fights get out of hand for you.
It's a nice D-ward there from Snako. Got 35 seconds till the Ravage. We have a Blink Dagger finished up on Saberlight as well, so they will have that kind of backline initiation if they get their eyes on the Silencer or the Beastmaster. I mean, that's like best case scenario almost in these fights.
I can't believe Boxy dodged that. That was House Mirror. That's so good.
That was very nice. Yeah, very early Blink Dagger. I like that. We haven't really seen this as a priority in a lot of builds. Like you said, there's a lot of times it's something like the Mage Slayer or some alternative items to pick up early. Saberlight, Roshan the Blink wants to get aggressive.
I mean, we talked about Silencer being the combo breaker, but if you actually start on the Silencer who's trying to sit in the back, then you don't even have to worry about that. So if you can blink in and Ravage, and Ember can follow up, or maybe the Tiny, snuck his way in with a Shadow Blade, should be easy to kill this Silencer who's been having a bit of a slow start this game.
Oh, the smoke scouted by the ward there. Avalis, they know something's coming. They're going to try and break the smoke here on Desire. Sunbreak Ravage onto the back line. They get the Beastmaster, but there's the global. They need to make space for Zibe here. Micke still cursed up. Can't actually join the fight quite yet. Oh, a good bait for now from the side of Avalis. His Smiling Knight's going to get to work. The Tidehunter taking almost no damage. You pop the Dragon Form. You need to find something with this. I mean, no global, can you? Bryle mid lane, gonna get the chains, dodge out any sort of stuns here from Mobe.
I mean, we see how tough it is if you don't have the global, which they used to counter the Ravage, so it's kind of an even exchange.
I like this call.
Roche?
I mean, it's a Beastmaster Classic, yeah.
Middle tower is under attack.
Do scan this, so Liquid, they know exactly what is going on, and you do have the Phoenix Egg, so this is a tough contest for Avalis. They're gonna just bide their time, drag the Roche around. There's an infest here into the Dragon Knight. Tidehunter, not the person you want to start on, and that is all Liquid's gonna give you.
That might actually be the reason we didn't see Liquid go to Tormentor. There's only a few heroes in the game that can threaten, if you go Tormentor, we're gonna take Roshan, and Beastmaster with the Aghanims is one of them, so Liquid may be feeling that Tormentor is not worth it to give a free Roach. We want to stay in the area. We want to make sure we can push you out. And they have really good AoE team fight abilities, so it is... Apples has to find a pick off first before they can comfortably just walk into Roach. I mean, they'll try to sneak it like that, but as soon as they're scouted, they're going to back off.
Everybody just blinking right onto the high ground. Now, they have good ward vision here from Avalanche on the whole top side, which might kind of backfire in just about 20 seconds as Roche is going to move bottom. So we'll see, you know, which team gets the benefit then. Micke, Invis here looking for Smiling Knight. Sunray is out. There's the Avalanche. The toss, the damage. Not enough. Rage comes out. He will back away, and Zibe comes in with the roar. Deletes the Phoenix, and he's going to look for more.
Good find from Zibe.
Ooh, Blink, Dragon Tail, Focus Fire, Shackle, Bryle needs some help. Foxy is gonna make it in time, it's not there. The Global committed.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
2 big kills for Avalanche. This could open the Roche that they were hoping for.
Slowly walking down there.
He's still on the hunt, and you're pretty alone here on the Dragonite. They're gonna toss him way back. The Shield Rune giving him a lot to work with, and there's the Blink out. Impalement Arch from Foxy into the Fear, the Wheel of Wonder. Hold up.
Turn from Mobe.
He's in a rough position, and in comes the Tidehunter as well. Micke getting his kill. Well done from Boxy, cutting off that retreat. And Saberlight, wait a minute, he gets some eyes here on the Silencer. He's not done. He's just gonna go for the body blocks, the Gush, into the Anchor Smash, the Impalement Arch, just slowing him to a crawl. It's only a matter of time before Micke closes the gap, and there it is, the Avalanche and the big wallop.
Mobe pushing up just a little too far there. Really wanted to capitalize on the kills, maybe overestimated how strong he was. The Shadow Blade allowing Tiny to sneak up, toss him under tower. Really, you just have to walk way too far back at that point to try to get out of there.
This game is extremely close still. It is 12-6, but we are neck and neck here in the net worth. And on the side here, Smiling Knight will just do a classic Rage TP back to the base. Does not want to get found. We'll just get right back to farming.
I'm not the core player, but how do you feel about this Radiant into BKB on Lifestealer?
I mean, Smiling Knight is very good at Lifestealer. I have to imagine this is the correct way to play it. I mean, BKB gives you an extra little kind of get out of jail free card this game. He doesn't necessarily have to use it unless he's in a dire situation, right? So he kind of relies on Rage first. He can back up with the BKB. I think it's fine. I like the build. He's gonna need to fight, right? Like, you're against this Liquid lineup, this tiny Tidehunter, Ember. Like, these guys want to run at you. So I think if the Lifestealer plays too greedy, plays too defensive, you're not gonna be able to contribute. First Tormentor went to Boxy, actually. That's a pretty good one.
There's no illusions this game, but it does provide some mischance, which is quite nice. Maybe Lifestealer will ignore it all in the Rage and the BKB. But actually, like you were saying, I think just being able to be in the front, kind of doing the exact same thing Tidehunter does, is quite nice for his team. And having that BKB gives you that comfort to go up there and just not care.
Ooh. Insaniac off from the Atos will just egg immediately. He's got some TPs coming in, but I don't know if they're gonna be in time. Actually, it is so close, but he will barely die. The last auto attack and global silence out as well. Mobe forced the BKB is Micke trying to close the gap. In comes the Ember Spirit, but there he is. The Tidehunter with the Ravage catching the back line. They've taken down 2. The Infest trying to make some space, put the toss forward. Ember Spirit in, gets silenced up. There's a roar from the high ground. But a nice save from Foxy. Bailing it out the Fear into the Wheel of Wonder, tossing up the side of Avalanche. Another goes down. Bryle with the double kill. Smiling Knight forced that BKB, but he can't do the damage alone. Remnants available. Bryle makes it down to the low ground, and Micke gonna continue trying to do what damage he can. Smiling Knight, he's looking real healthy, and he's found his target. Tiny goes down. A good return kill, and we're starting to see the strength of this Lifestealer.
It's looking good for Liquid. The Global didn't get too much done to start, and we saw them start to kite out the Lifestealer. Yeah, we got this replay here.
How close is
down to the last hit on the egg. Fortunately, Smiling Knight popped the Rage early to make sure, you know, nothing like that. The Fear from Tame the Beast to break it. A sentry placed immediately allowed Mobe to get the BKB off. But then the Ravage catching the supports in the back led to a very clean sweep of the fight. And actually, if they got out there, it would be pretty good. I think they thought they could get the lifestealer, but this BKB giving him so much extra survivability. It was even such a good Wheel of Wonder too.
Yeah, it was a really nice fight here from both teams, but we're starting to see why the lifestealer at the final pick here is starting to make a lot of sense. Like, you don't really threaten him too much with the tiny. Like, eventually, yeah, you know, if you can burst him, that's when you're feeling really strong. But these long fights with the lifestealer, this is when he thrives.
They're looking for an infest gank right now.
They're not stopping. Could actually, if they find something, Roche will be moving back to the top side in just a moment. So this is a pretty good opening for the side of Avalis here once again. How long until global? 1 second. Okay. See what they can find. There's the smoke.
Don't have dragon form for this.
You have this Lifestealer Beastmaster. I feel like this Infest combo will kill almost anyone. And they found Boxy. He gets the Glimmer Cape off. The dust is there and quickly removed. A very nice find here from Avalis.
Roshan's making his way back top. They're getting down some wards off of this smoke. They should be in a pretty good position to force this.
They need to. They're not really behind, right? This gold lead is very close. I do think when you have Aegis, probably going to the Beastmaster would be my guess. I don't think there's a lot of kill threat on Smiling Knight at the moment, but if he can get it early, gives them some potential to maybe threaten these tier 2 towers. But the aghanim scepter, something I didn't even notice, it's finished here on this Tidehunter. It's going to make things a lot more difficult.
Avalis really wants to respect the Ravage Egg combo. It's a classic.
It's devastating, yeah. It's one of those things, like, you might get the global off in time, but if it's timed perfectly from Liquid, there's not much you can do. And they're actually smoking, looking for the mid lane. A ward will scout Zibe, but the question is, how far do they want to dive? There's an amplified damage about to be picked up here on the Ember Spirit. A good read potentially here from Avalis is they're currently playing very defensive back behind their tower, not giving this up. Smoke's gonna pop. Foxy with a Glimmer, trying to find someone. They actually get a Dragon Tail off onto him. The global is out, no Ravage quite yet. He's going to be shackled up as well. Zibe roars onto the Ember Spirit, trying to save him with the Sunray. Brown needs some help, he doesn't get out. Safelane caught from the gust. He has to pop the Ravage. Do they have the damage to find anything? And Infest is going to bail out another. 3 dead on Liquid as they look for another. It's just going to be an egg defensive here, but Avalis, they'll just wait. Bide their time, maybe go for Roche. It seems like that's the bigger objective for them.
And you don't want to waste any time. You're going to go straight to Roche. Finally, you've been trying for 10 minutes at this point. You finally have your window. Great sentry placement to scout out the invis going in there. And then the silence came out just in time, like just as the Tide blinked in. Yeah. But I also got to credit Zibe. His blink didn't over-focus. I think it was the Ringmaster they were killing. Yeah. Didn't over-focus that. Blinks in, immediately sees the Ember, and roars across, actually hitting both heroes to finish up the kill on the Ringmaster. No saves come out. And then Ember actually dies in that time as well.
Yeah, they have burst damage, right? And it's all covered by the global silence. It's one of the reasons we see kind of this Beastmaster Silencer pairing. It works really well. And even though the Silencer has had a very rough game so far, he's contributing and doing everything he needs to. If he's not the one that the fight starts on, Avalis is going to be very happy.
I mean, that's the strength of the Silencer, right? You want to have a good lane, but even if you don't, Global is just so strong. But we're reaching the end point. Lotus is queued up onto Foxy. It's going to take a while to get there, but these next, I'd say like 10 minutes, this is where you really need to get yourself a lead before the Silencer starts dropping off. And then eventually you get the refresher and it kind of loops back around, but there will be that window where you're just not that relevant of a hero.
A little bit of a Wisdom Shrine steal here. Nicely done here, but Desire, you know, something's up. Force Staff, Sunray, TP. Nice escape from the Phoenix.
Foxy will now go to secure their own.
Is Saberlight in trouble is the question. It's hard to say because he's so tanky, but Micke here might cover this as an avalanche thought. Looks for the Silencer. The Lord is going to save him for now into the global as well. The BKB spent, but they need to get the Tiny out of here. In comes the Ravage. No, Saberlight doesn't even need it. He's got the Ember to close the gap, and Micke still surviving on the backside. A great escape back. He's on the run. Sunray, the healing. It's not enough. They get their kill. And now Bryle, his BKB, it's been spent, trying to do what he can, but Zibe is so tanky. It will back away, a 2-for-1. Getting the Tiny, though, you still have this Aegis to play around.
Avalis saw the TP out from the Phoenix. They knew, like, they can't help. Like, we can go on this Tidehunter. Even though he's usually tanky, we don't usually want to do that. There is no follow-up this time. So they force that fight. You lose the supports, but you're perfectly fine for that for the Tiny, like you said.
Actually playing aggressive, but this ward is going to see everything. So yeah, they'll get the D ward there. Nice read from the side of Liquid. But Smiling Knight, we actually didn't really touch on it, but he did finish up a Nullifier, which will do some work this game. Insania with a force staff, trying to dodge this one out. Another Sunray TP off the map. There's a lot of heat here in the top lane. He wants none of it.
And Liquid didn't get to use their spells in that fight they lost, so they were hoping to get something, but like you said, the ward allows Avalis to just quickly regroup. Don't give anything up. Back to Liquid.
I like the Scythe on Saberlight. This is a really cool build because he's closing in on this pretty soon. And this does give you a second blink initiation without having to commit the Ravage. So if you do get caught from the global, you can still lock down the one hero you're really trying to kill. So this, we'll see what it ends up finding, but doing what I was hoping he would do, which is pressure this top lane, or pressure tier 2s, right, with this AG. Still got about a minute, 40 seconds left on this timing. And he feels so safe.
Lifestealer is working towards that Sans and Yasha, so he'll have some status resistance to make sure he gets his Rage, Infest, BKB, all of these defensive tools off. But that Hex could be what they're looking for. If you can catch the Lifestealer, Hex him, if you Ravage and even catch the Global out, then there's just no save. There's no actual saves on Avalis compared to the healing from Sunray and the escape box, escape act from Foxy. Might be in some trouble here.
Nice, Shiva's there. The blink, the roar. They found him again. I mean, it's a big. It's not the biggest commitment, right? The roar, relatively low cooldown. It's mostly the BKB. But yeah, anytime you remove this Ringmaster, it gives you another opening in these fights to find another hero.
I think Tormentor is almost up as well.
Defensive side here from Saberlight. Needs to get away from this Dragon Knight, but
blink.
They're gonna gust him into the corner. He blinks to the other side. Zibe will see him. This, you know, it was a grand escape. I don't know if he's too big of a boy to hide behind a tree, but Micke comes out of the backside, gets a nice toss, but there's the global. Can they actually turn this around? Phoenix is closing in as well. Sunray, they've done it. There's the Ravage. They take down the Wind Ranger. Mobe still has that BKB to play around. And two more heroes from Avalis approaching from the north. Will they find him? Micke, Invis, they don't see them quite yet. There's the Infest out from the Lifestealer. Seneko in some trouble. Trying to TP out, they don't get it. Party on Avalis, your Aegis expiring as well. They've got the Dragon Knight, Smiling Knight, the only hero left here to stand against Liquid. He's gonna pop the BKB and TP out instead.
Another situation where the global comes out, but you don't actually get anything. We thought the Tidehunter was, you know, he was too far, he couldn't escape. It was all a stall tactic. Everyone eventually shows up.
They're gonna chase. Maybe getting a little bit of assist there almost from that creep, but Zibe has to crawl. This is where dead in the water makes a big difference, and I don't think he has it quite yet. Getting that shard on the Tidehunter will do some work, but for now, it will open up this bottom tier 2 tower.
Finish. Saberlight going for the Shivas next. He is skipping dead in the water this game. Maybe hoping for it from the Tormentor.
They might.
It's also not as good versus a Lifestealer.
Exactly, yeah. There's a couple heroes you love to see it against, you know, but as for Lifestealers who can just rage destroy it immediately, it's mostly for heroes like the Beastmaster, the Dragon Knight, Wind Ranger, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think that's what you have to itemize for, which the Shivas will help. It's a lot of armor. It's an attack slow on everyone on the team, and if Lifestealer doesn't happen to have his Rage or his BKB, then you're going to get him with that too. Reduce the healing as well for some of these tanky heroes. The Beastmaster with the Ags, Dragon Knight, Lifestealer, a lot of healing from them. And it might protect your egg as well, which is actually a big part of the reason Avalis has been managing to win these fights. There's not been a lot of eggs that have hit a lot of heroes. He either has to use it defensively or gets dealt with in the Rage and the BKBs. So if you can protect it with a little bit more attack slow,
anything
could
helps.
save you. Yeah.
Yeah, anything, every little bit helps. And I'm actually seeing it was actually a really nice rotation from Avalis. They actually scanned the top twin gate. They kind of made the read that they might be going bottom, but Liquid not seeing anybody on the map will back out, wait their turn to smoke, and now it's time for them to look for the pickoff. A little bit of an amplify damage on safelaner. The best Tidehunter rune, but you take it.
It might matter.
It might.
Dota's a math game, did you know?
I suck at math.
That explains a lot.
Are scanning.
Don't think Liquid actually has a ward down here, so it's a little bit blind, but this is high ground. They're going to catch sight of the axes.
I mean, if you get their Blink Ravage here, they're going to see Snako. The Ravage comes down, in comes Micke, they even get Smiling Knight on the backside, so no global silence. He does not have a buyback. There's the roar, though. They're going to get the force staff to try and save him. Can Snake get the egg off? He hasn't even been needed to. On the other side, Mobe hexed up as Bryle's getting to work, and in comes Micke, the toss, the Avalanche holding them down. They've got so much going in this fight, but can they escape Avalanche? It's looking rough. The team to beat Fear will pull them back as well. 3 dead for Avalanche. A toss, then on stopping. Saberlight wants to keep this pressure into the enemy base. Another Avalanche. They want this light killer. That X is out. In comes the time. 4 dead. A triple kill. Micke and Ultra Micke wipes Avalanche at their tier 4s.
What a perfect find. They just see the silencer at the edge of vision. Immediately, Saberlight walks over. Blink Ravage catches everyone. I think you gotta back off at that point. Avalis, you know, they thought, oh, they use Ravage, we got a BKB, try to fight and chase, but they don't have the global, so they just kite out the BKBs, and by the time you want to run away, you have nothing left to get you out of there.
It looked a little scary in the middle part. I was like, you know, they're committing maybe a little bit too far, but it just works out. They're too tanky for Avalis to deal with it. They don't have that global silence to protect these abilities, and they don't care for Roshan. They don't care for for Tormentor. They are just gonna beat down your buildings. Micke on his tiny claims the first mid racks. Now looking for the bottom. The final fortification here from Avalis. 30 seconds on this light stealer. He does not have buyback. The Shiva's coming out for Saberlight. Even a butterfly for the tiny. This guy is gonna hit real fast.
This is just 2 racks. I don't think you can do anything besides just stall it out, throw a couple spells.
They still have egg.
You know you're not buying back at this point. Even if he had it and he was bluffing, you're not waiting now. It's way too late.
That's it. 2 lanes of barracks for Liquid. They crack the high ground here just after 35 minutes, feeling super dominant, pushing this gold lead to 17,000 in their favor. Avalis will pop a smoke immediately, realizing they've got to get something going their way here. Obey pops the dragon form. Zebe looking for his roar target, Micke. He has the illusion. They jump the backside. They get on top of the Ringmaster. They don't have the Texan. There it is. The dust is out. There's the global silence as well. Boxe, he's going to go down first, but Saberlight going to put his body on the front line here. Try to bait out some spells from the side of Avalanche, but it looks like during full retreat as Micke gets a huge avalanche toss. 5-3 now Bome with this BKB. The egg finally coming through. They cannot deal with it. Ryle hunting for more, looking for his change. He's got him, the Dragon Knight in a lot of trouble. They take him down. Smiling Knight has to retreat, but will Liquid let him? They find the silencer again. A dieback for him. What can you do on Avalis? They do not stop charging on Liquid.
You have to just retreat at that point. The fight for Avalis, it has to be so specific. You need, first, the Ringmaster. They did get him, because if you don't, the escape back can come out and save whoever. You have to find him. You also have to stop the egg from coming out. You have to stop the Ravage from coming out. If you don't actually chain stun the Ember, you're not going to kill him either. You're not going to kill the Tiny, who's going to be 4 staffed away. You have to find the perfect takeoff and then just chain it. Liquid, they're playing together. They're reacting so quickly. They're now going to grab Roshan. They're going to have a banner to work with, and there's just 1 lane left. You just go top. You take that tier 2. You don't even have to rush it that much. I mean, you got 5 minutes on Aegis. And it's easier for them. I mean, we've been seeing it the last couple team fights. It's just easier for Liquid, something the panel talked about. They have a lot of answers from their draft to counter counter what Avalus can do. So you just need up to the throw. Don't go into the fountain. Don't go too crazy. Whittle this away because the late game should be theirs, especially with a 20k lead here.
Nobody can resist the call of the fountain. Let's be honest.
That is true.
It is the strongest opponent for all pro players.
Saberlight has 61 Kraken shell stacks though, so I think he can actually, if he goes in first, I think he can tank the fountain for a little bit.
Yeah, that is nuts. Nico gets a good ward sentry out here, gonna try and provide a little bit of vision on this last lane of racks here. But they could just wait for these last set of items, right? You said they had 4 minutes left on this Aegis. We're closing in on the Swift Blink for your Tiny. What else do you need on the side of Liquid to close this one out?
I don't think you need anything else. I think you have all the tools. You have 2 Lotuses on Oxy and Insania, so you can use it to dispel silences. You could also use it to reflect the Roar and the Dragon Tail, the only real stuns that are reliable. Shackle Shot, you know, kind of iffy on whether it's going to connect or not, even though Desire has done a great job this game. It just depends where you fight, especially in the base. There's not a lot of trees to line things up.
The one hero that could definitely break the smoke reliably, Desire, gets that wind run away. So Liquid don't find their opening with that smoke, but they're still going to just look for any pickoff that they can find. Slow, patient, methodical approach here to try and walk away with a game 1 victory, right? You don't want to be down a game here in elimination. There is an Infest Beastmaster on the top side, looking for anybody on Liquid to try approaching that lane, but it looks like they're more interested in just coming through the front side of the base.
It looks aggressive, but they are playing it carefully. They just want to find a pickoff before they start sieging the towers.
It is so close. They might go for the Tiny here, but he does have the Aegis. You really want the Ember.
Or the supports, if one of them wander over there. But at this point, the positioning's no good anymore. They got to fall back.
Like, yes, they actually do find the Ember Spirit. The global sides to protect them. They're trying to bring him down. They've done it. The power shot with the execute. High ground defended for now. Foxy with an escape back, but can they get more is the question. From the nullifier, in comes the Ravage though from Saberlight. The Avalanche comes over from this Tiny as he beats down the side of Avalus. He is too damn strong. 3 dead as Mobe on the run gets the blink out. He's got a TP back to the base, but Zibe in the sights here from Micke. Another blink forward, a toss back to the Tide Hunter. Nowhere to go. 4 dead. It's going to be a buyback from Desire though. Your base is crumbling to this Tiny. Last fortification here once again. Can they defend? You have a buyback on a Beastmaster.
He has no roar.
He has no roar. The Avalanche, the toss back, the Hex into the break. There's the buyback. He gets to the fountain, but is it too little too late? Focus fire comes in from Desire. They're doing their best, but there's no damage. They're tickling. Wait a minute. Oh, he pops the Fury. He kills him with it. No way. Saberlight as they get another. The GG comes out. In fashion, Liquid will take game number 1.
Dude, I can't believe Saberlight pure cloaked him in the fountain.
That is an incredible way to take this game 1, and Liquid looking as good as ever.